Your right hand side, number 548, you see a hotel that's composed out of 7 historic canal houses. It's not the only one. Along the Prinsengracht you find the hotel, the Pelos Hotel, composed of 26 canal houses along 2 canals. But this one is rather expensive, the Waldorf Astoria of Amsterdam.
Olha, aquele é bem confortável para as crianças aí. Essa aqui que ficaria mais com muito embaixo para cima para pegar. Isso aqui escorta a minha barriga. Mas deixa eu ver lá. Mas lá deve ser um rio. Sim.
Olha essa foto aí, né? Perfeição.
Sim, mas a cara ficou boa, mas aí eu tô falando, não tem uma que tem uma cara boa e as paisagens diferentes. É aquela aí.
At this moment they are sailing to the former Jewish quarter of Amsterdam. Once the place lay for 100,000 Jewish inhabitants. The Jews in Amsterdam came recently. They were persecuted by the Catholics. They spread over Europe and they could settle down in Amsterdam as free men. Relatively. Not every job someone allowed to do. You had to be a member of a guild, a union. But there were free professions, for instance, diamond trading. And that made Amsterdam diamonds even the more in the world for a long time. Nowadays in Antwerp and Belgium, there are still diamond factories in town. Also, kost er 6 stoeltje. En er is het diamond, dat is een machine quarter.
Eu vou lá depois tirar foto. Eu vou lá de cá, tava pegando uma, mas ele tá passando, tava ali.
From 1635 on, the Jews were allowed to build their own synagogues here. Dominated in 1675, with the biggest one in the world for a long time. There is no doubt the Portuguese synagogue. After this bridge had been left behind, there are 3 old German synagogues. These form nowadays to carry the Jewish Historic Museum of Portugal. But opposite to the creeks, you see there's no horizon. The Portuguese synagogue, once the biggest one in the world, built in classic style. Still in use, by the way. They still have services there, illuminated by 600 candles. There ain't no electricity or heating inside. It has a beautiful interior, original from the 20th century. If you go inside there, it always run close to you, even like summertime. In the low houses around the synagogue, you find the window synagogue, and also one of the oldest, richest, and most important Jewish libraries in the world, the Maria of the Zielerstück in Amsterdam. This book also goes back till the 13th century. Sorry, it's hard to say, but I am born and raised in one of the most beautiful historic cities in the world. 8,000 historic buildings, mostly canal houses, and it took almost 100 years to restore them all. There was only one problem. The city forgot to restore the canal system. And 4 years ago there was a real disaster here. There's a short canal in the neighborhood of the Red Line district. And one bad day in September 4 years ago, one of the walls caved in, fell into the water with the pavement broke at all. Nobody walked there on that moment, no victims, but as it was alarmed, it started to control the whole canal system. And the result of this all is what you see, for instance, here on the left. We can see it along many places along the canals in Amsterdam. Construction works in those iron sheet pile walls to keep canal walls stable. 18 bridges and 14 kilometers of canal walls need to be restored or replaced, with foundation and all. The project will take about 25 years and they are still looking for 400 million euros to finance it. So if you have money to match, maybe you can make a second canal, please.
Tá bom pra isso, né? Estava anotado na minha página. Eu continuo botando essa linha.
Well, it's going to be a little bit narrow now. If you look on both sides, you see wooden doors. In fact, we are passing now the former coastline of Amsterdam, and you are here 3 meters below sea level at high tide. So we only needed sea locks to separate different islands. This is the Schouderbier-sluis. The Schouderbier lock. Schouderbier was a very cheap kind of beer for the poor ones in the 17th century. Amsterdam nowadays is protected against high water from the North Sea by giant locks along the coast. In fact, the biggest locks in the world since 2 years. 70 meters wide and 500 meters long. There ain't no tides anymore in the canals and the harbor, and the water is fresh. In front of us, the older part of the harbor is also the dock.
S'il te plaît, la mienne, je l'ai pris.
Regardez le bateau. Il a l'air d'un bateau des pirates.
If you look in front, the three gates in the middle of the building, you see a text above the gates. On the right you can read tot gebruik gebracht in 9 maanden. It means built up in 9 months. With one meter thick walls. They were so proud of the fact that they built this building in 9 months. That they wrote it about the gable, the outside. It was built as the warehouse of the Admiralty. Now it's the Maritime Museum. A wonderful museum which tells you everything about the sea history of Amsterdam. The ship in front,
Sim, mas marca na vila.
if you look above, you see on both sides a god. On the left you see a man with a chicken, and chicken with a very wide open eyes, looking as if he just left the coffee shop. That is Mercury, the god of Burger King or something. And on the right you see Neptune, the god of the sea. Some people still talk about Neptune van der Meer, because his face is the face of Kees van der Meer, the ship's master builder. He may be still alive, the ship is 13 years old. A replica, built up by 400 earthquakes from 1985 to 1990. The original ship was built in 1748, but it sunk already 1 year later close to the English coast. You still can find the wreck in the water in the neighborhood of Hastings. It was a return ship that sailed back and forth between these cities and Holland. The foremast is 56 meters high and had 48 guns on board. You can visit the ship every day in combination with the Maritime Museum. And now they rent it out for a dinner party in Fairfield like or something. Now, if you look to the right, you see a former harbor basin that is now a free public swimming pool. And if you're behind, I'm one racer, I can assure you, during hot summer nights, it's one big party going on there. A lot of youth, music, dancing, drinking, swimming, diving, like on the beach. You have to notice that this island here on the right, called Kottenburg, was owned by the Marine, 400 years long. The Marine sold this island to the city of Amsterdam 5 years ago, and now it's designated for new expensive apartments. But that still takes 8 years. Until then, he uses all marine buildings, trendy bars, clubs, cafes, cantinas, good restaurants, and there is even a beer brewery called Homeland. Now there are 5 tunnels under the harbour for car traffic, and the second oldest one from 1967 starts here on the left, the I tunnel. The entrance of the tunnel goes down in an angle into the ground through the tunnel, watch it. And that concrete entrance forms nowadays the foundation of the green building, which goes up in an angle. And that was the meaning of the architect, not a sinking ship, though some people still talk about the Titanic. Architect is now 85 years old, as far as I know, from Italy. The man from the Shaw, the London, the Salta, Blue, Paris, and Diamond House in Berlin. Renzo Piano. He built this building as a new metropolis, a scientific, technological museum. It went bankrupt and it opened as a Nemo. Nemo is the name of the captain in the story of Jules Verne. And that's right, inside that building is very interesting, unless you're older than 40. On the roof of the Nemo you find the highest public square in the city, Nemo Beach. God created heaven and earth, except Holland. That's made by the Dutch. That's a French expression, 8 years old. But if there is one place in the world where it's right, then it's here in this spot. The eye is surrounded by land that was once made by men. In front of you see the former coastline of the city from the 7th century. That's also artificial land. This island here on the right is made in 1834 at Oosterdoks Island, but it's what it used to be once a part of the North Sea. Once. On the right you see a floating Chinese restaurant, Sea Palace, for 700 guests. One of the biggest in Europe, they say. It's built in the harbor of Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, you found once the original restaurant, Jumbo, for 2,000 people, but it sunk a few years ago. Now you can have dinner in a sunroom 1,000 meters below. You see also the towers rising of the Basilica of St. Nicholas, built as the principal church for the Catholics here in 1870. It's built in so-called New Orange Wood. Since 1 month, it's updated till a cathedral. So now Amsterdam is also a cathedral, the St. Nicholas Cathedral. And the building with the flags over there, the small tower, was made in 1920. That's the head office of 6 Amsterdam shipping companies. Still called the Scheepvaarthuis. A shipping house, a navigation house. Now it's in 5 stars of the Hotel Amsterdam Amsterdam, the shipping house. Very good. Right in front you see the Montalbaan's Tower. Montalbaan, that is constructed from Montalbaan, White Mountain, and the story goes that there were huge white mountains visible on the right of chalk. Chalk was stored on this bank. It's still called the chalk market, the chalk market. Anyway, the round base is from the 16th century, In the 7th century, they built a new steeple on that tower they turned into a watchtower. I remember the tower was on eBay. About 8 years ago, the city tried to rent the tower out for 9,000 euros in a month. They didn't succeed, of course, even on eBay. Finally, about 5 years ago, they rented the tower out to Secret Garden, a union for homosexual Muslims. They paid 1,500 euros in a month and the rest was subsidized.
O devoador é uma lenda, até procurei. Fala que um dia um devoador é a história de Jack Sparrow. Mãozinha das pessoas.
Ca și la mașini de aia, o reducetă de 30 de kW pe care îi puteți plătesc pe capacitatea lor. Logic. Și vapoarele ăștia dorm sau? Ăștia par nemișcate, dar dorm în ele, sunt gase. Și regimul ăsta de...
Maybe you've already noticed that a lot of houses in Amsterdam are leaning, grouped. Houses in Old Amsterdam can lean in two directions. When you lean forward, they are built on that way. When you lean sideways, they are indeed subsided. Maybe you know that story. You can't build houses on a moor like the swamp bottom of this town. It's too weak. Houses should sink into the ground until they stand in the center. There are two sand layers on the ice age in the bottom of 12 and 25 meters deep. So old houses rest on wooden pillars on the first sand layer. 11 million in total. The Royal Palace of the Amsterdam, for instance, rests on 13,500 wooden pillars. If you turn Old Amsterdam upside down, you walk in a kind of Scandinavian forest. That's where the paths came from. But if those paths begin to rot, like in the case of that little leaning black wallpaper's house in front of us, then they always remove the wood. In the remaining holes they place empty tubes. They fill these tubes with concrete and then you get concrete pillars. The house over there now rests on concrete pillars. It's quite safe to get a beer inside. There's a nice bar inside, nice way to get stoned or drunk, especially when you look through the windows. But beside all this, all the modern houses and buildings in the city from the 20th century or later rest on concrete pillars. Concrete piles 28 meters long, resting on the second and deepest sand layer.
Nossa, isso é muito top. Nossa, não dá. Não dá. É muito treta. Olha ali.
Bibica, se bibi.
Don't look to this awful building on the left. I hate that so much. Nobody asked for 1980. Once upon a time, Amsterdam had the biggest city hall in the world, built on the Dam Square in 1650. Now we have the most outdoor in the world. In front of us, for the second time and now a little bit longer, the only natural waterway of the city, the Amsterdam River. Mr. Holt's powerful Vienna had more fantasy than the Dutch architect who was responsible for the awful box on the left, which is the city hall. In the same year, 1985, Mr. Holt's power designed the new opera house of Amsterdam, the ballet theater. People in Amsterdam always talk about stopera, that's two words together, Stadhuis opera, Citro and opera, because the buildings are, as you can see, connect to each other.
Auzi, oamenii tac fiecare centru. Ce vreme. Marțele așa un las filosif aici.
The building left in front in the corner was made in 1682 for poor old widows who lost their husband on the ocean. Last century it had a bad reputation as a retirement home. It was really a bad place, really old inside. Everything was old, not only the inhabitants, but the view outside was nice. 15 years long they used this as an annex to the Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg, but that's over now. There ain't no original art inside anymore because of a certain war in the East. There's a new museum, is it? The HR Museum, worth to visit it. But now we better look forward to the most romantic bridge in the city, especially at night when it's illuminated by fluorescent light bulbs. De magere brug, the Skinny Bridge. Canadians on board?
Morar no parque também, você pode levar aqui.
Acho que não, deve ser que tá com esse barco.
Eles começaram depois da Segunda Guerra. Então, a família estava destruída. Foi uma alternativa que o pessoal achou.
Okay, look left in front now. Oscar Carré came from Germany. He had a circus and he gave performances in his neighborhood. He would build it. And when he had enough money, he could build his own theater here left in front. It's complete round inside. Oscar Carré couldn't use pillars inside because he had to let his horses running around. So he called Gustav Eiffel from Paris to come over to Amsterdam. Gustav Eiffel from the Eiffel Tower knew everything about iron bone constructions. So Gustav Eiffel designed the roof of this theater without pillars inside. One of the most beautiful, most famous theaters in the city. It's Royal now, eh? Royal Theatre Carré. Oh, anyway, I don't know where you spent the night. An idea may be there's lawkeeper's house left in front. Look, it's on an island, but it's nice. It's 1,015 euros per night. But yeah, book.com. And you are a prisoner of your hotel room. You need a boat to come there, or to go there. Might be a nice idea for your wedding night. I prefer a hotel room, which I can leave every minute.
Lavando roupa.
Când mă gândesc că mâine seara mă duc la cer. Azi, mai ce crezi dimineața, aici și mâine. La azi, trebuie să dați ce fac.
Sem praga e sem incêndio.
In the middle of the 19th century, Amsterdam had plans to build somewhere in this neighborhood the Central Station. And next to the Central Station was, of course, a giant luxury hotel. An architect got the order to design a square building of 3 floors. But then it later changed. The Central Station was built along the harbor and not in this place. That hotel on the left was finished, but only 1 wing. When they added 2 floors in 1900, you still can see the old cornice, the old roofline. It opened in 1867 as the first international hotel in the city. And it sold a few years ago for 800,000 euros per room to a company in Qatar. Where is the money nowadays, except in China? 5 stars Intercontinental Amsterdam Hotel. There's 54 rooms, 27 suites, most expensive one up in the Midlands, 4,000 euros per night. Without breakfast. A lot of artists and celebrities spend the night at the hotel.